here with author Lara Giesbers. She's here to answer some questions about her new book, Aries.
And this is my interviewer. His name is Eldrige and is in 4th grade and goes to Franklin Elementary School here in Surrey County in North Carolina.
My first question is, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, when my son was in kindergarten, I was watching Lord of the Rings all the time. And I loved those books so much, and I loved the movies so much that I got the idea simply by watching it over and over again and wishing I could come up with something just as good.
It's interesting. Why did you use Bible verses?
I wanted to show that the Bible is relevant today. In today's society, where people will tell you that the Bible is antiquated and outdated. So I decided to show that what it would look like if you were living your life day to day and putting these scriptures into practice.
What did you change from the first draft of this book?
The main concept I changed. I started off with 2 sorceresses, and one was good and one was evil. But people do a lot of books about witches and wizards and things like that. And there are some people that are sensitive about witchcraft that are Christians. And so I decided to call my people that have these special powers that were given to them by God, those of the craft. And so that was a big change, something that would be more in line with the scriptures.
And why did you name the book Aries?
I chose that because originally this book was supposed to be a story about 2 girls that had magical powers that battled each other, and they were twins. And so I was going to call the story Gemini. But when I first started the story, it was so big and got big so fast that I started to see that I needed to break it down into 3 separate stories or I would never bring it to market. So that's how I came up with Aries. I picked the characteristics of the mother, looked at her personality, and picked that zodiac sign. Okay.
How did you select the names of your characters?
They just kind of came to me. The men, there are certain names that I really liked. Jason was a name that I really liked. Jared was a name I really liked. When it came to the women, I started to notice a pattern. The twin girls, their names ended in A, and then all the names of the girls that I picked tended to end in the letter A. So I let that follow through the whole story. So we have Nefaria, Aphratha, Thena, Leah, all of them ended in A. And I just wanted to have a little fun with it.
Why did you take the time to write a book?
Because I love books. I love writing. And I've always wanted to write something. And ever since I was little, I would write short stories and I would write poetry, but mostly short stories. I love to tell stories. So I took the time to write a book to see if I could actually do it.
Were there any alternate endings that you considered?
Not necessarily, no, especially since the final ending of the story is really going to be what the end of Gemini will be. So right now, there's not really anything alternate that I considered.
What is your favorite part of the book?
That's a killer question. There's so many little things that I loved about this book, but I think the best chapter and the one that made me cry the most was chapter 2, when I developed Cassandra and Bryant Sinclair, and they ended up making one appearance, basically, chapter 1 and chapter 2. I think that was the one that was the biggest heartbreaker.
Why did you only write 7 chapters?
That's just the way it broke down, and it turns out that I should have broken a couple of those chapters down even more, especially right in the middle of the book. Chapter 3 tends to be the eternal chapter.
Will there be a sequel?
Yes, the sequel will be coming out very soon because it will be part 2 of what the story was supposed to be, and it will carry on about a year or 2 after Aries ended.
Why fantasy?
I've always loved fantasy, fiction, any kind of fiction writing, but fantasy because I was spurred on by the Lord of the Rings and by the Chronicles of Narnia. I grew up with the Chronicles of Narnia, so I wanted to see if I could write a fairy tale.
That's all the questions.
Alrighty, well thank you very much for your time. It was fun to be here, and we'll see you next time.